All right. So, welcome everyone. My name is Ernest Joseph. I'm going to do a special session for you guys today. And let me just make sure I can get everything ready for you guys. Again, I just want to welcome every single one of you guys who's going to watch this video. Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit about the SIE for some of you guys who already get your life license, then you are a little bit interested in getting your SIE done so you can get your investment license, but you're a little bit confused, or maybe you're not willing to, you know, to go take the book and start studying, or maybe you pick up the book, but you're scared. Okay, maybe you're scared at the minute you start studying, you feel like you're tired, you get discouraged, then you stop. All right. So this is gonna be a little bit for you. Um, I'm gonna see if I can cover some important stuff with you here. Maybe that can help you. I hope that will be able to help you a little bit to get you to study and go past the test. Like the introduction video just telling you you can do it. Of course, yes, you can do it. If you really focus, you can actually do it. So it's if I can do it, you can do it as well. All right. So I got to make sure I get this thing, get some juice because I don't want this iPad to be dead on me. All right. So let me make sure I can have my screen. But before we talk about more about this SIE, which is we're gonna give you an introduction to it. We're not gonna cover a bunch of details as of right now, to be honest with you, but we're gonna do the best that we can so we can um, help you understand it a little bit. First, I would say congratulations to you. If you are studying for the SIE, that's a big deal. It's a huge deal. You have to understand that the SIE is the introduction to get your investment license. But that's for some people you kind of discourage to study it, but don't do it because this license it means a lot. You can do a lot with it when you pass the SIE, get your Series 6. Then you start, investing, teach people how to invest the money. So therefore, you have to do it with love, with a passion that you study something great, something like you see how you see somebody like a doctor. A doctor is something phenomenal. It's a high class. So getting an investment license is something like that as well. It's really high class. So therefore, you have to really see, man, who am I to study investments right now, to studying for that license? So that's a privilege. Don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted. Not everybody have that opportunity to learn about investment to get an investment license. Not all company gonna sponsor you to get an investment license. If you find a company that's willing to sponsor you to get your investment license, don't you ever take it for granted. So be encouraged because you're gonna be different. You have to understand, you have to separate yourself from everybody who's selling life insurance. But when you get an investment license, you separate yourself from the massive. I gotta put this thing on, folks, okay? So that's what happened. But you got see, when I was studying for all my licenses, and I say all of them, I have fun with them because I'm studying something major, something important. You got to see it the same way, folks. So let me just share my iPad here with you. Like I said, remember I'm doing it in my iPad. So therefore, just be patient. I know technology is really sometimes it go crazy, but be patient with me so you can learn something. All right. So that's one of the things that you can do. Let me move this thing out of your way so you can see if I can get my screen here to share. I hope my everything works out because we're gonna talk about something special. We're not gonna go to all the details on this, but I'm gonna show you what's important. I'm gonna show you some important stuff here at the end of the day. All right. So let me see if I can move myself out here. All right. Now you're gonna see you have a nice black screen here. So let's talk about this for a little bit. All right. So actually, I should have moved my screen over here so I can have a chance to help you guys out. Give me 1 second. Let me just reshare this. I want to do screen one. Nope. No. I hope you wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Give me a second. I want to make sure you guys can. Let me stop this sharing. Give me a second. Let me move this over here because I want to make sure. Um, Give me a second. Just be patient. Be patient. Patient. Because once you're doing this on this iPad, because I want you to sit for the first time, so I don't know where you're gonna go. I hope everything's turned out to be the way I want it, so you guys can see. And I'm asking you to be a little bit patient here. Okay, let's see. iPhone share. Okay, I guess that's how you're gonna be, folks. I'm gonna have to do it that way for you. All right. So okay, there you go. Got it on. I hope everybody can see that screen. So let me just move this out of your way so you can see. Um, Let me move this out of your way as well. Okay, let me see. Get this out. Okay. All right. So I think everybody should be able to see my screen. And if for whatever reason you didn't have a chance to see it, please let me know. Let me know after you're watching this so I make sure I can correct that. All right. So let's get to the program. So now this is you're going to study an investment license. The first thing I want you to think of when you take the book and you start studying, I want you to think about this thing here. Okay. I want you to think about those things here. Because my pen was not working. I told you my pen was not working. Okay. Let's see if I can get it to work for you. Hold on. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. You gotta keep sharing this. Please don't do that. All right, so folks, it's the first one I'm gonna do. So you're gonna be a little bit challenging, but don't worry about it. Just relax. We're gonna get you. Let me connect this Apple Pencil here. All right, let's see if it works out. All right, good, good. Now we're good to go. The technology is something else. All right, so let's get to the program. I want you to think, first of all, what is the security? So I want you to, that's the first question while you're going to this. This is the first thing I want you to do. Ask yourself, what is a security? What is the what? Because we're going to answer the what, the why, the where, and the how, and the who get involved. Okay. So that's what I want you to think when you go into with the book. And I want you to think of it this way. So you can actually take a moment to really grab it. All right. So now let's talk about what is a security, because we need to know the definition. Because now if you go to different books, different, uh, if you do a Google search or whatever, they might give you different scenario. But I'm gonna tell you what is a security. That's what I'm gonna have to explain to you. Let's talk about the what. Okay. So now, based on the book definition, it's a security is an intangible financial asset that may be bought, sold, or gifted between persons. So it may be represented by a paper certificate or held in electronic record. But that is a security. So now, when you read it in the book, in order for it to be a security, now this is what we're gonna have to define the what. So the way that happened, folks, I think it's back in 1946. The Supreme Court, because I think you have to think of it like different object or different product they could qualify as a security. So it was a confusion. So now we want to know the legal definition of it. So according to the book, when you read in your book, if you go to the lamb or to the book itself, we're gonna talk about what we call the Hoey test. And you read about the Hoey test. In order for a security to be a security, there's 4 things that need to be done. And you need to know the four things. Okay. So in order for it to call a security, and it's not just it's just an intangible asset. It's not just only that, but when it's become a security, when you invest that money, so you don't have to make any effort to it. It's not gonna be about you. So when you're gonna make a profit, but it's not gonna be about you. All right. So based on what's happening when it comes to the security, it's just there's four things that need to be done. Let's go to this first. Okay. So the four things in order for it to call a security, the first thing is an investment of money made into a common enterprise. So you're gonna find a security first in order for it to be a security. So you're gonna find an investment of money. But now, if there's an investment of money, that's the first thing that comes to it. Is an investment of money. And number two, not only just is an investment of money in a common enterprise. That's when if I don't say enterprise, you can just say in a company, okay? In a company, okay? In a common enterprise. So in a company. Now, when you do it with an expectation. So that's when you expect that investment to make what? A profit. An expectation of profit. So that's mean you want to see profit into it. So when you come, you invest, not only just you invest the money, you have to put it into a company and you expect to get what? A profit. Now, the fourth thing is, this is where it become magic. It's through the effort, of a third party. In order for it to be classified as a security, you have to invest some money into a common enterprise, into a company. You expect to make a profit, but not only that, but not through your effort, through somebody else's effort. So you don't have to have nothing to do with it. That's how the HOHI Act define that. Okay, it's HO, and if I say the word wrong, who cares? Ho he, ho ha, ho he, who knows? Whatever you call it. That's the act. I mean, that not just the act, that's the test. Sorry, that's the test. He got to go to that test. The security must go to that test in order for it to classify as a security. So sometimes, I make fun. Sometimes people say, hey, I'm going to get my security license. And people, you have a conception say that, well, is that a D license or is that a G license? No, that's a security is a series 6 or series. There's different series. Series 6, series 26, series 65, series 63. There's different series 7. So there's different series. But I want you to get that. This is what it is. I think that's pretty common. That makes sense. So now, this is the first section I want you to get. So when you study in the book, you need to know what is a security. All right. Now, because of that, let me just explain two more concepts with you, because I know you're gonna read that in the book. But let me just explain two more concepts with you because before I get to a couple more things here. So now let's see some example of a security. So now you're gonna see most of them. There is other one you can classify them, but the two main one I'm gonna mention to this video is those two things here. You're gonna find what we call equity securities, and you're going to find what we call debt security. So as you're reading the book, most of the time, there's other type, but let's focus on those two. Most of the time, they're going to fall from those two categories. When you see equity, you see like stocks. That's been ownership. That's been stock ownership. When you see debt security, you find what we call bonds. And now you find that this is like I'd say that's a loan to a company. I want you to get that. Now there's different type of stocks. There's different debt security. Okay. But now what I want you to get here, just think of it because you're gonna start categorizing stuff so it start making sense. So when you invest that money, let's say $1,000, for example, if you invested into an equity security, that's mean you're buying stocks. That's mean you tell the company, I'm giving you my $1,000. Hopefully, the stock that I'm investing in is gonna raise in value, so I'll make a profit that way. Or if the company doing well, so they can declare dividend to the shareholder, what I call the stockholders, because now you own the company. So what the company doing here, they're selling a part of the company. That's what they're doing. So you invest $1,000. That's when you're buying $1,000 ownership in that company. So that's called equity, what we call stocks ownership. I'm not gonna go to all the details here. Simple thing I'm gonna keep you. Then the debt security, you say, now I gave you my $1,000, so therefore I'm loaning you the company. In the second part here, so if you do this, I'm gonna loan you my money. So therefore, if it is a loan, in order for a loan to be a loan, you got to pay me what? Interest. So this is where this one pay dividend, and this one pay interest. Okay, it's different, dividend and interest. Now, later on, you can learn how they pay the dividend, or how the dividend get paid, how the interest get paid, but you need to know that's what happened. Those two securities you're gonna get throughout the book. In another video, then I can explain that for you. We can talk about just the equity securities, then we can go to the debt security. But right now, I want you to get this basics thing. All right, so make sure you get that. So security, dividend, securities, you find equity, they pay that's when you're buying into the stock company ownership, then they pay dividend to the shareholders or stockholders. When you invest the $1,000 into a debt securities, so you pretty much you're buying bonds, so that's when you loan the money to a company, so therefore they pay you interest. All right, so let's move on. Why should I talk about the why yet? I think so. I think so. I think we need to talk about the why. Let's talk a little bit about the why. Why do you need to get a license? Why we got to talk about this today? Because remember, I'm explaining to you, it may not have really everything really what I'm saying here may not be in your book. I'm just explaining something for you to get the concept when you're reading in the book so you can have fun of it. So throughout the book, if you know what is a security, why we're talking about it, why this is important, why that happened. Let's say back in 1929, because the first act you're gonna learn is the Security Act of 1933. So the Security Act of 1933, you need to know that. Why the Security Act of 1933? What is it? So in 1929, you guys know what happened in 1929 when the Great Depression happened back in October 29, I believe that happened. Okay, so what happened? The market The market crashed back in 1929, 1930. So it was a disaster because they didn't have so much rules and regulation. Things was a little bit more easier to do until the market crashed, 1929. So the SEC come up with this. They come with this rule. If I just say that, they come with the rule. Let's say the government come with the rule. Say, hey, that's craziness. People losing their money. Some banks closed, never got open. Some open after a week, after 2 weeks, but some stay closed forever. And some people lose some money. So they say, we got to fix this problem. So in 1933, they come with this act called the Act of 1933. And the Act of 1933, folks, is what we call the Paper Act. And when you're talking about the Paper Act, what does that mean? Paper. What does paper? Let's say this is paper. So the why is because 1929 happened. A big crash happened. Then we have to come with all of this. It was there before, but when 1929 happened, we really have to see what happened, why this happened, how can we correct this? Then they come with the Act of 1933. It's to regulate primary markets. That's mean new issues. So that's mean the Paper Act mean, when you see the 1933, that's mean registration of securities. Come on. What this saying is, in other, because remember, I apologize because I have a small, the screen is short and small in here, so I got to probably make a whole mess, craziness here. So I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But pay attention to me more. You can watch the video over and over. That's okay. The registration, that's mean all securities must register in order for it to sell to the investors. So you can't sell it if it's not registered, unless if it is exempt from registration. So the Act of 1933 says that. That's why it's called the Paper Act. In order for you to sell the security, you have to register it. That's why it's called the Paper Act, folks. That's the first one they come up with. But that's for only for new issues. That's mean primary market. Now, after you do that registration, there is a cooling off period. That's 20 days cooling off period. This is when they doing whatever they need to do. You cannot sell it, but you can see who might be interested in it. Okay, but we're not gonna go through that right now. This simple thing I want you to understand is the Act of 1933. It's called the Paper Act. Why they call it the Paper Act is because every securities must register unless it's exempt from registration. That's why it's called Paper Act. That's one of the why that happened. Okay, so remember I was explaining what is the why. Okay, so that's one of them. Why we doing all this? 1929 happened. So they're coming rules and regulation. So that's one of the things they're coming. All right. So now there is another one that you have to know. So when they do the 1933, that was powerful. That was great. It was really a phenomenal deal. But it's not only that. So if that's the case, things still was not perfect. After they come in, so okay, well, all security have to register. So things was that get out to be perfect. So it was not working the way it should. And they find out it was not just the security is the problem. The security it was part of the problem, but it's not fully the problem. So they say, well, the other problem they encounter is the people. So in 1934, they come up with a different act. That's another act. In 1934. So now, because they see they still have problem, and now they say, listen, the people now is the problem. So they come with the People Act. This is called the People Act. What this one? What would you think this is gonna do? Regulate who? The people in this secondary market. So this law is about the people and the trading security in the secondary market. Now, 1933, the primary market. 1934, it's regulate the people in the secondary market. Like you see people that do the tradings, daily tradings, the secondary market. If you have, for example, a TD Ameritrade account, that could be a secondary market. It's just like I hold the security today. If I don't want it, I sell it. Then you buy it. Then that's the secondary market, investors to investors. So therefore, what they doing on top of that, I say, listen, we have to regulate the people. That's including you too. That's including anybody who have an investment license. So the people. So 1934, it gave us, after 1929, it gave us 1933, and it gave us 1934. And you know, is after that they come out in 1935 when the Social Security started, because they have to find a way to help some people. Because after they lose so much money, we have to find some security for those folks when they retired. So that's when they come in after that. They come in with 1935 to do the security, Social Security, which is that's a different topics for that. But I've just mentioned that to you. When things happen, they won't find out why this happened, then they try to correct it. That's the why. That's not the only act you have to know. There's another act that you need to know, is what we call, there's another act of 1940. The act of 1940, now 1940 is a little bit different. It's still, because now we find the 1933 to regulate the securities itself, just the security. That's why I call it the Paper Act. The People's Act to regulate the people. The Paper Act to regulate the security itself. Then 1940 is what we call, it's an Investment Company Act. It's an investment. Now you see, this is Investment Company Act. So now, this company, now we're gonna have to say, okay, they say, well, let's create this act now, this regulation, just to regulate the investment companies. Because now you're gonna see they're gonna categorize those investment companies. They're gonna go like the unit investment trust. They're gonna regulate the face amount certificate companies and the management companies. When we're talking about the management companies, folks, remember when you read in the book, if you didn't read the book, you better go read it, okay? So in the management company, you're gonna find open-end management company. This is what we refer to a mutual fund. That's where you find the mutual funds. And closed-end companies, those are the two management company, open-end and closed-end. So we're not gonna go to the details on open-end and closed-end right now, but that's what you need to know. This act, it's classified. Where do you sit at? Are you a unit investment trust? Are you a face amount certificate? Are you open end, or are you a closed end? That's what this act doing. That's why you need to know those numbers. You have to know why they're there. Why 1934? I mean 1934. Why 1933? Why 1940? So now you need to know this basics information. Okay? Now, so the what is, you tell you what is the security. The why, 1929, when the crash happened, they come with those regulations. So now, how's you doing this? Are you gonna continue to learn this in this platform? You're gonna learn the investment to get your investment license. So now you get a chance to understand all of this I'm studying. Why am I doing all of this? Why? What is going on here? Then everything gonna start falling to place. Because now you're gonna learn a little bit the how. Because you're gonna say, okay, who's trading? Because now the because you need to know the who, the where. Like you're gonna learn about the New York Stock Exchange. You're gonna learn about the Chicago Bulls. You're gonna learn about different platform where they trade stock. You're gonna learn about the Nasdaq. You're gonna learn about who get involved, and you're gonna know how they do all of this. Because when you come in, you wanna learn about this license. This language is so beautiful, man. It's such a beautiful language, but you need to understand. You come here to learn. Don't be shocked because you say, "Oh man, those things are like you get discouraged." No, don't be discouraged. You're doing important stuff. He's gonna tell you about what a security is. He's gonna tell you why that happened. He's gonna tell you where that happened. He's gonna tell you how that happened. He's gonna tell you who doing it. So therefore, you gotta take advantage of learning this material. You're gonna be well prepared for this. So now, I'm gonna let this video here because I wanted to share this first part of it to understand. If you go back to the top, to understand what is the security, what make it called a securities, why is it, and you want to understand different securities. That will be for another topics when we're gonna go to equity securities, debt security. We're gonna go to another video for that for you because we don't want them to be too long. And we tell you the 1929 when that happened, okay, when the crash happened, we tell you about that. We tell you why they call this the Paper Act because of 1933, because all the securities before you can sell them, they have to register. That's the security itself have to register. In 1934, we call it the People Act because it's to regulate the people, also the secondary market. And we talk about the Act of 1934, the Investment Company Act that classify them. Are you a unit investment trust, what you call UIT? Are you a face amount certificate? Or are you a management company, open end or a closed end? That's what you just learned here. And later on, we're gonna come back with more video for you to explain to you, to show you why this is important, and take part of yourself learning this material. Not everybody can, folks. So take full advantage of it. If you like this video, and hey, listen, always post a comment, give us some thumbs up, and we can continue bring you more videos. And if there's something you really not fully understand, we can do our best to explain. Not everything that we know, but we do our best to help you out because we want you to pass that exam because you can do it. The exam itself is not like it's hard. You just got to be willing to study, but you got it with the book. You cannot pass the exam if you don't read the book. You got to read the book and have fun with it. Take part of it. Not everybody can have this opportunity that you have. So take full advantage of it and go to the material and continue learning. And I see you on the next video. Have a good one.